Hello, John Carroll. I'm Luis Jimenez.
And I'm Chris Burrell.
And this is Beyond the Headlines,
JCTV News.
Now first we have a story conducted by Hallie on Margaret Ann Payne, who is actually competing in the Miss Teen Alabama.
Hi, it's Hallie Baker here, and today I will be interviewing Margaret Ann Payne to hear about her pageanting. This year she tried out for Miss Teen Alabama. Here are a few questions. First, what made you decide to compete?
Well, I was 7 years old when I first started getting into pageants, and I think I did it for fun, but also it's very good for your future because a lot of people just think, oh, it's just a pageant, but actually I think it really prepares me for the future when I have to interview for a job. It just really prepares you for that and having the confidence to get out and be who you really are.
Yeah, definitely. So how have you prepared? What is your best prepared pageant, I guess, that you've done?
I would definitely have to say this one. This is definitely the biggest pageant I've ever done, so I had to get a lot of help from a pageant coach named Don, and he just really helped me. He designed all my clothing, so I think I definitely have to give all that credit to him. So.
That's awesome. Okay, and what does the competition entail? What did you have to do during the competition?
Well, it's in Atlanta, Georgia, so we first get there and we have to do different activities together, like going to World of Coke and autographing cards for kids and people that are there. And you have to have fun fashion, you have to design clothes for that, you have to have evening gown, which is like a big gown,
yeah.
Interview, and an interview. So it's a lot.
Wow. And which portion do you think you're best at or your favorite?
My favorite would have to be interview because that's when you really get to know the person and you really get to tell who you are and what you stand for.
And which is the hardest for you?
Probably evening gown because it's so hard to walk in that dress and those giant heels. Oh my gosh, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and lastly, how can the John Carroll students support you in your pageants, do you think?
Well, a lot of times I have online voting for like people's favorite, so they can always go and vote online for me to be chosen for people's favorite.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We all wish you good luck, and we hope you continue in your pageants. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. And up next we have Deja with the weather.
What's up, JC? This is Deja with your weekly weather. Thursday we'll have a high of 83 and a low of 54 and a 10% chance of rain. Friday we'll have a high of 74, a low of 45, and a 0% chance of rain. And Saturday we'll have a high of 74, a low of 46, and a 0% chance of rain. Sunday we'll have a high of 76, a low of 45, and a 0% chance of rain. Monday we'll have a high of 75, a low of 49, and a 0% chance of rain. Now here's a fun fact about the weather. On July 10th, 1913 in Death Valley, California, the hottest temperature in the U.S. of 134 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded. Phew, it's hot in Cali. Now back to you, Louise.
Thanks, Deja, for the weather report. Up next we have Joe King with sports.
Thanks, Louise. With the conclusion of the football season, here's a couple highlights from last week's games from Pelham. In other news, our cross-country team have a meet tonight at Spain Park. Try to come out and support them. And next week, the boys and girls basketball team start their season Tuesday at Clay Chapel. So after you get done casting your vote, make sure to try to come out and support us. That's all. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Joe. And up next, we have our school president, Noah Smith.
Thanks, Chris. This is Noah coming to you live from Paris. Next week, we have the St. Cecilia Talent Show. The auditions start next week, so get ready for that. This Thursday, we have sectionals for cross-country, so make sure you pray for your cross-country runners as they go on to state after sectionals. On November 14th, 15th, and 16th, we have soccer tryouts. And in addition, softball tryouts should be starting anytime now, very soon, possibly even today. All right, thanks, guys. Sending it back to you.
Thanks, Noah. And up next, we have a commercial break.
I'm a doctor. Don't smoke Mary Jane or you're insane.
No, I shouldn't do this. Dr. D told me, don't do Mary Jane or you'll go insane.
Welcome back. And before we continue on to our next segment, I want to share with you the verse of the week. It comes from Ecclesiastes 3:12, and it goes like this. I know that there is nothing better for them than to rejoice and to do good in one's lifetime. Very inspiring.
Yeah, thanks, Luis. And up next, we have Will with a movie review.
Thanks, guys. And this week, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Dear Eleanor, which is a movie about two girls named Ellie and Maxine who decide to go from California to New York to visit Eleanor Roosevelt because they got a letter from her in the mail. Except it wasn't from her. It was from a friend pretending to be her. Their entire journey is based off of a lie. On this trip, they decide to pick up a few interesting characters to tag along. One of them being Maxine's aunt, who is perfectly okay with them going on this trip without any approval from either of their parents. And Frank Morris, who is the most recent escapee and only escapee from Alcatraz prison. I'm starting to question the intelligence of these girls. Overall, the movie is very predictable. I can tell where the plot is going pretty much 98% of the time. And it has some good humor elements in it, but it's hit or miss for the most part. However, the movie isn't entirely predictable, as the end is quite surprising when you see it, and I thought that it was pulled off very well. And the acting in this movie was also, I feel, very well done, and I think that the actors portrayed the characters they were meant to portray very well. Overall, I'm going to give this movie a 7.8 out of 10. Back to you, Luis and Chris.
Thanks, Will. I actually enjoyed that movie myself.
And up next, we have Kyla with a review on the pros and cons of social media.
Sorry, I was checking my Snapchat. Speaking of Snapchat, let's see the pros and the cons on social media. Here are some of the pros. You can make new friends, communicate with old friends and family. You can connect with students in other educational systems. Colleges can recruit you if you put your videos up for sports. And you can get a fan base for your YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and try to make a name for yourself. Here are some of the cons. Cyberbullying, gossip and talking about each other, even posting inappropriate pictures or statuses. And the most important to us high school drivers is distracted driving. Be careful, JC. Be careful what you post. Just because it's deleted doesn't mean it's gone forever. Back to you, Louise and Chris.
Thanks, Kyla. Let's all remember not to text and drive.
Yep, and that's all for this week, folks.
This has been JCTV News
Beyond the headlines.